Hey, 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 who's joining me? It is week 4. Week 4. Here you are. You're here with Kylie Pax. Dropping in live. Let me know if you're joining me here because this is the first of our week 4 live streams. We do 2 a week just to check in, one to set you up and one to round it off. So who is joining me? I can see a couple of you are here. Elizabeth, what's up, girl? It's so great to see you here. How's everything going over there? Are you in NYC? I think that's where you are, isn't it? I know, right? I love my teacup so much that I just parade it around on all my live streams now. I actually have one that's like sort of reverse colors. It's yellow as well, and it's yellow. It's like exactly the same, but it's with yellow and other vibrant colors. How you going? How you going? Stephanie, what's up? Rachel, it's so great to see you here. Oh my gosh, everybody's here today. This is fabulous. Yeah, so good to be back home with internet. Oh my gosh, I so understand. We had storms here, really vicious ones a few weeks back, and we were without power for a few days, and that sucks, right? Having no electricity because there's no hot water and there's no light, obviously. But what cuts the deepest is no internet. It's like, oh my god, no phone, no internet. You literally don't know what to do with yourself. Every second you're like, oh, well, I'll just do this or I'll just do that. And I can't because there's no internet. I can't check in with anyone. I can't do anything. Oh, it's hideous. Yeah. It's so great to have you all here, Rachel. Okay, so, yeah, NYC. Boom. I love it. So, girls, how is everybody going? Let me know because we're in week 4 now, right? Week 4. I want to know what progress you're making. I want to know what results you're seeing. I want to know what sticking points you have because that is the whole point of us being together so that we can work through any sort of resistance or if you're finding any self-sabotage patterns popping up. And I can tell you regarding this week's code, you're going to feel resistance to this week's code. If you have not felt resistance to any of the codes yet, thank you. You're going to be, this week, you'll just be like, I'm not doing that. I am not doing that. Or we craftily try and weasel our way around it. It's like, well, maybe I could do it a little bit, but not properly. So here's what I want to tell you. This week's code, we are tuning in and not tuning out. What does that mean? It's like why am I holding up 4 fingers? It's twofold, right? It's twofold. So this week is about, it's about tuning into your food and really paying attention to your food, okay? What you're eating, how much you're eating slowly, really actually tasting it because we just wolf our food down. Okay, we wolf up, we sit at our desk, we do 1,001 things, we just stuff our face and then we just go, oh, food gone. And then we feel very dissatisfied because we're thinking, I didn't get to enjoy it, right? So we talked about this previously. So it's really, really, really essential this week, and this is going to be tough, I'm just telling you. Slowing down when you eat, eating really slowly, turning off all the distractions. This is where the resistance comes in, turning off the distractions. What does that mean? That means you don't get to sit at your computer anymore while you have your lunch or do whatever, and you certainly do not be sitting in front of the TV while you're having your dinner. All of that stops. I am also restricting any use of mobile phones, social media, iPads, reading, none of that during meal times. Mealtime now is mealtime. If you're going to sit down to eat, then eat. Don't do other things because what you will find is going to start feeling weird. You'll be like, this is so boring or what a monumental waste of time. I could be doing X, Y, Z while I'm sitting here eating my food. I can't believe it. And when these things come up, I want you to start to ask yourself, really? Seriously, am I not worth giving 7 minutes to while I eat this food? Is my life so chaotic and hectic that I can't actually carve out, 5-10 minutes for me to eat my food, in silence, without 1,000 things going on, without 1,000,001 distractions? Because if you don't believe you're worth that, we have a much deeper issue than Kylie saying turn off the TV at meal times. Much deeper, right? So this is about self-worth. It's going to, and if I haven't said this to you before, what happens is the minute we start following the codes, every single issue that was there the whole time comes up, right? Because as soon as you stop taking the focus off of food and, my problems with food and this, that, and the other, Everything else just comes to the surface. And so I want you to not get freaked out by it. I just want you to pay attention to it and start to question it and go, really? Do I not believe that I'm worth like 10 minutes to sit down and eat and actually enjoy my food? Because when we don't do that, that is when we go back to the kitchen all night long, picking, because we were not satisfied with what we ate. This is where last week's code and this week's code really gel together. So I'm just going to, I want to check your comments here. So yes. All right. Right. Okay, so Rachel is loving week 4. Awesome advice, Stephanie, for getting home hungry at really inconvenient times. Like it's 11:15. I'm definitely hitting hungry. Okay, so I'm going to ask, like, you've come home from going out or something, or is that your regular coming home time from work? Like if you're coming home around 11 p.m. at night, is that like a one-off? Or is that your actual routine? Because how I would handle it would be different. So if it's a one-off, if it's a one-off, then you've always got 2 options, right? You've always got the 2 options. If you're hungry, generally I would say eat. However, if it's 11 p.m. at night, if you're starving hungry and you've come home and it's 11 p.m. at night because you didn't get to eat all day and it was working and then there was something, then you had to go to a function and now you're super hungry. If that were me, I would eat something. I would not stuff my face. I would not have an entire meal because it's 11 o'clock at night and I knew I was going to bed immediately after, at which point you're no longer aware of your hunger anyway, so it doesn't matter, right? But I still despise going to bed hungry because of the years and years that I spent dieting where you were always hungry. And so anytime I feel hunger now, I am going to eat. I just hate feeling deprived at any point in time. Like, can't have that. It just triggers that whole thing for me again. I'm like, don't tell me I can't have it. Now I'm going to have 5 kilos of it, right? So if this was like a one-off or something and just happened to be that you were coming home, it was random, but you were starving, I would have something just to, take that hunger away, whatever, and then, eat to a level 5, that's fine, and then you're going to go to bed. If you're coming home and you're like, I could maybe pick at something, well, it could just be that, well, yeah, you could. Choice is always there. Yeah, you could, but also, and not only and as well as, you're just heading off to bed now. Oh, there's so many choices. But if that's your regular routine, if that is your routine, it's like I come home at 11:15 at night. It's when I come home. Well, then you want to sort of adjust your timetable to, eating around those times. If that's when you're naturally hungry, then that's sort of going to work out to be your dinner time kind of thing. And your body clock adjusts. Body clock adjusts. Don't be scared about the whole getting fat because you're eating at night thing. Like, your body clock adjusts to your routine. It adjusts to your routine, right? So it's very smart. This whole device, very smart, knows what it's doing, right? Despite what the experts tell us, so you've got to make sure you eat breakfast at this time and feed yourself at these certain things. It actually knows what it's doing. So yeah, let me know. I'm just going to scroll down a little further because Elizabeth says, okay, this week 3 was so hard for me. I feel like all the progress that I made was completely undone last week. Yeah, okay. Why? In what capacity? How was it undone? How was it? I'm just going to keep looking. Yeah, Rachel, eating in front of the TV was definitely my biggest problem. Yeah, I would eat so much and gain so much weight. But I've already been eating less and less in front of the TV since week 1. And now I just completely stopped. OMG. That's amazing. That is so great. And see what I love what you said here? Eating in front of the TV. Okay, sorry, stopping eating in front of the TV, you've just been eating less and less and less, and as the TV consumption decreased, the food consumption decreased. You can see, right? I mean, you only have to try it out here like Rachel has done. You will see the difference. The second you start paying attention to your food and becoming aware of how much you're eating, you'll be able to find your level 5. You cannot find level 5 if you're distracted. You just cannot. That's the bottom line. I will tell you because occasionally, this is not a rule, nothing here in DTD is a rule, nothing. So you could eat in front of the TV, you can. And occasionally I choose to do it. However, I really do think that it is something that I'm just no longer prepared to even do, because every single time, even if I stop at level 5, because I've been doing this for a while now, I can stop at level 5, but I don't feel satisfied with what I ate because I wasn't paying attention. I was watching the TV, right? So I always feel compelled to eat a little something extra. I just feel like, I wonder what else there is. It happens to me every single time. It happens to me every single time. And I just feel like it's not worth it because I wait all day for my, when I'm hungry, and I really want to enjoy my food. So I can tell you from somebody who's been doing this a long time, you can always do it. You can do whatever you want to do, but everything comes at a price. And if you're prepared to sacrifice the weight that you want to be at, enjoying any of the food that you're eating, all just so you can watch a TV show that you could probably, if it's on Netflix, you can watch it after anyway, or you can DVR it. You're not missing out, because we think, but the TV is enhancing my pleasure experience. Like, I'm eating and watching TV. How much better can it get? It can get much better when you pay attention to your food, find that you're eating less, find that your body is changing, find that you're feeling better. I think that is better and way cooler than, watching some reruns or whatever you're watching on TV that you could watch later. Dedicate more different amount of time to that later. And seriously, I found in any case, my TV watching drastically decreased. Just wasn't that important to me anymore. It just wasn't. Like, enjoying my life and finding other avenues of pleasure besides sitting in front of the TV stuffing my face with ice cream and choc chips or something was like, it all just fell to the wayside. The minute you are prepared to even release, just try it out. But you will feel resistance initially. You will feel resistance. Like I said in the module, I did not want to stop eating my meals in front of the TV. Did not. No, I was not pleased about that at all. I threw a tantrum like a little child. I was like, oh, I just didn't want to do it. And eventually I was like, well, Kylie, nothing's going to change if you don't change, nothing's going to change. So I made myself do it. And like I said, initially I would sit down at the table, but keep the TV on. So I would sit there and I'm like, well, I'll plunder my ass at the table. That's step one for me. It was step one for me. And then I was still watching the TV. And then I conducted an experiment. And so I muted the TV, and then I would eat my food. And then I put unmuted the TV, had the TV back on, and I could taste the difference. When I had the distraction of the TV on, I sort of lost comprehension of what was going on in my mouth. When I muted the TV and just stopped looking at it, turned it off, I was like, hello, like a whole fun park of flavor was in my mouth. And eventually I was like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I'm ripping myself off when I don't pay attention to what I'm eating. So yeah, I really wanted to sort of share that with you. But so yeah, Elizabeth, honestly, it's such a pattern of self-sabotage. Girl, I always do this to myself when I'm doing something good for myself. Right. So my question to you would be, what part of you does not feel that you are worthy of being happy? What part of you, what within you believes that you don't deserve to be happy? And why? I would really love you to journal on that, because just start to write it out. And you could write a heading at the top, why don't I believe that I deserve to be happy? And you could, because what's going to come up is like, because I'm pathetic, because I'm whatever. That's fine. That's your surface beliefs. Then I want you to ask yourself, how is it serving me to keep myself stuck here? These are two very important questions. How is it serving me to keep myself stuck here? Because let me tell you something. We all retreat into our familiar stories with food when the actual real truth of what is going on seems too scary for us to face. This is not about the food. You've heard me say from day one, it's got nothing to do with food. Nothing. And you're thinking, then why am I here? Because the food is a convenient smoke screen that we just put over our lives so that we don't have to deal with the real fear, the thing that is actually holding us back or that we're afraid of. And usually it comes down to not feeling worthy, feeling that you're just broken in some capacity. You're just not enough. Everybody else is, but not you. Not you. I know that you've heard me say, like, I was suicidal over the way I felt about myself. I felt that I was just a bad seed, that I did not deserve to live, that I was the ugliest thing to ever walk the planet, right? That my level of hideousness, I felt sorry for people that had to look at me. I did. And seriously, I would apologize I would walk past people, and in the corridor at work, like we would pass, and the first words out of my mouth were not, hey, how you doing? As I passed them, I'd be like, oh, sorry, hey, sorry I had to walk past you. Sorry for my existence. Sorry I'm even close and in your vicinity, in your stratosphere. Sorry. Like that. Was I like cruising down the hall, you know, passing colleagues and going, what's up? Hey, how you doing? Good day, whatever. Like, no, freaking people out with a level of enthusiasm. No, I'll be like slinking away, just, you know, and walk past people. If my shoulder accidentally brushed past their shoulder, I would be like, sorry, oh, I'm so sorry for my existence. No. So there, I want you to sort of journal on those two questions, and then, you know, see what you come up with, because what you're going to get is the truth. So like I said, we retreat and run away from the actual truth. When the real deal is too scary for us, we run back into our familiar stories of food. Yeah, well, I'll just eat this and I'll keep myself stuck here and whatever, because I don't feel like I deserve it. Well, journal it out, because I want you to really have a bit of a drill down and see what is actually going on there. And all of you can do this. All of you can do this. It's not going to, you know, it's only going to benefit you to know more about what are the underlying reasons for not wanting to move forward with something. How do you feel it's benefiting you to stay stuck where you are? Because that's the only reason you're doing it. You're not doing it, you know, because you hate yourself. You're doing it because you love yourself. And I know that seems counterproductive, it seems counterintuitive, but you're doing it because you love yourself. You're keeping yourself stuck here as a protection mechanism because you love yourself, not because you hate yourself. So drill down and start to have a look at that. Yeah, Stephanie says, okay, thank you. I think it's because I usually had been eating later in the evening after my kids had gone to bed, plus I would snack on chocolate. Yeah, whereas I've been snacking less throughout the day, so eating tea earlier, and have regularly been getting hungry late at night within an hour or so of going to bed. Right, so it's not like you're coming home at 11, you're still up at 11. Oh, I think my brain just couldn't even fathom that, because I'm in bed like by 9 p.m. I'm shocked at people that can stay up that late. I mean, I guess my actual next question would be, would you consider going to bed earlier and getting more rest as like a loving, kind decision to do for yourself, instead of going, because so often we just feel like, especially here, Stephanie, you're saying you've got children, right? If you, very often we just feel like all day, every day is about everyone else. And so at night, when we can actually carve out a few hours for ourselves, we don't want to let that go, because it's like, finally some time for me. And so, you know, I would sit up till, you know, midnight just watching dumbass things on the TV and eating, because I felt like this is my time now, my time, and God, and if I go to bed, my time ends. And I did not want it to end, so I would avoid that at all costs. I would stay there until I was like a zombie on the couch, half asleep, but I didn't want my time to end, because I knew when I went to bed, reality was going to kick in. I was going to wake up again the next morning, had to be about everyone else again. I just didn't want to face it. So I would just really switch the attitude. If this is, not switch the attitude, but switch the outlook. Like if that is your situation, where it's like all day is everybody else, and finally when the children go to sleep at night, it's like, oh, time for me. And so it's like snacking, eating, TV, like eating, right? And TV. I think the most loving and kind thing you can do for yourself in that situation is to haul your butt off to bed. And then you're not going to be hungry at 11, because you would have been asleep for an hour already. You're going to feel better the next day. It's going to adjust the body clock. The whole thing is going to be like vibing on such a high level. It's going to be amazing. But yeah, 100%. So Rachel says Monday lunch was so good, and it was a new recipe, and I was so glad to discover it and really enjoy it. See, I love this, Kim. Yeah, that's like eating and driving. I know, right? It is. Oh, eating and driving. Were you on my live stream? I was just talking about that. Elizabeth, okay, we'll journal. I'm pretty sure that I truly don't believe that I deserve or am capable of success. I know that's what you believe. Yeah, I know that's what you believe right now. But do journal it out, because, okay, your beliefs are only a thought that you have thunk enough times that you decided it was true. That's what a belief is, right? That's all. This is your tweetable for the day. A belief is only a thought that you've thunk enough times that you now accepted it as your truth, which means you can create a new belief any tick of the clock. You've always had the power. I was going to say you now have the power. You've always had the power. You just didn't realize it. You just let people feed stuff into your brain. They will tell you, or they will tell you you're not good enough or whatever. Or in, your industry especially, you would look around at the people around you, measure yourself up against them, decide you just don't cut it, and you probably never will. So why even try, right? A belief is only something that you have thought enough times. It's a sentence in your head that you've repeated enough times that you've now decided it's a fact, which means you get to create some new ones now. So where you're saying, yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't believe that I am capable of success, that, yeah, you probably do believe that right now, but that is only your current belief. You can create a new one any time. So I know we talked about this the other week, but in case you've forgotten, I want you to do it again. Pick a sentence, so come up with a new affirmation or mantra or whatever you want to call it, and you say, I, Elizabeth, am whatever. So freaking awesome it hurts. Like, well, don't use that one though, because it's not good. But I, Elizabeth, am... Oh, I've got a weak connection. Okay, sorry girls, I don't know why that's happening. It's probably gone a bit fuzzy. I, Elizabeth, am strong, determined, and successful in all I set my mind to achieve. And you write it out, right? I showed you my thing the other week, my, notebook. You write it out, you say it. You think it, you say it. You write it out, you think it, you say it. And you do it enough times that it overwrites the old limiting belief. You want to overwrite your old beliefs, right? So what I want you to do. And let me know how you go. Yeah. And we don't know the answer. We just want to face it, and whatever is willing to keep repeating itself till we face it. Yes, definitely. No, it's my work time, but I don't get up until 6 a.m. so it's okay. Oh, okay. Maybe I'll think on it. Right, yeah, it is your work time. Oh, it's your work time. But I don't get up until 6 a.m, so it's okay. Yeah, okay. Work out a pattern and a schedule that works for you. But again, really, all options are available to you. If you're starving, hungry, and you didn't get a meal and whatever, don't think to yourself, well, it's 11 p.m, I better not eat. If you're hungry, eat. But yeah, if you're about to head off to bed or something else is, going on like that, I just personally would not eat an enormous meal. I wouldn't stuff my face, but I would eat something enough to just take the edge off my hunger so that I wasn't feeling deprived or, something like that. And or if you really are not even that hungry at all, then just, I would just go off to bed. Yeah, Elizabeth, love it. Right. I bet that's a statement about the beliefs. It's good, isn't it? Stephanie, can I also ask more about choosing what I want to eat? Yeah, I'm finding it very hard to find anything that I really want, even when I'm hungry. I feel like I'm settling. I've never banned foods because of a diet. Oh man, you're one of the few and far between. But I do aim for real food most of the time, so I've been settling for real foods mostly. I guess what I'm wondering is how to tap into what foods I actually want. Right. Okay. So, this is where I did just want to cover this because we've had a few questions on this. So, when we talk about deciding what it is that you want, right? Because I know it can be misconstrued as in, well, I need to decide in the moment. So therefore I need to take myself off to the grocery store for every time I'm hungry and see what appeals to me. No, not really. Because this was someone else in the group and I can't remember who it was, but we sort of mapped it out this week. It's such that, right? Because they said, and I apologize, I can't remember who made the comment, but they said, well, but I got to stick to a budget and I don't want to go to the shop 5 times a day and I shop weekly and, how am I supposed to do this? So I said, right, well, this is what I do. I shop weekly as well. Or, if you run out of something, you can go back. But I shop weekly and I just get what it is that I want at the time. And I have like a base of things that I know I want certain veggies and certain fruits and because I enjoy them. So I buy them. And then anything else that appeals to me. And then every single day when I get hungry, because here's the thing, we think that we're going to want some extravaganza of different meals for every, No, you actually don't. When you really start paying attention to your body and what you like to eat, you will find that you pretty much, we are creatures of habit, and we generally stick to a general consistent base. So like I've said before, I know, and I'm still waiting to see when I'm going to get sick of this, but I have been having chia pudding for breakfast now for a long time, maybe a year or so. I have had some periods of time where I've tried some different things for maybe a week or two, but I always return to my chia pudding. I love it. And however, I know that one day probably I will decide I'm so over this and I'll come up with something new. But until that day arrives, it's my favorite meal of the day. I really love it. So I have chia pudding every day. I know I'm going to want that when I get hungry in the morning. So I buy the right things to make sure I've got that on hand. Other meals, I know generally what it is that I like. I like to have an egg at some point during the day because I really, really love them. I like lots of veggies. I do eat lots of raw veggies, so carrot and that sort of thing. I'm quite into dips at the moment. So I've got the general gist of what it is that I want. I make sure I bring those things home from the shop. And then every time I'm hungry, I go, okay, like, what's available to me and what do I feel like from here? Now, that being said, the other day, it was Sunday actually, I had my breakfast and for some reason I was still so hungry, and I knew exactly what I wanted. It's this whole food like nut and seed bar. It's just crushed nuts and seeds and honey. I think that's what it is. And it's so yummy. And I wanted one of these things. But did not have any in the house. And I'm like, well, Kylie, you don't have any in the house. So I went and got a little bit more breakfast because I thought, well, what else would appeal to me? I thought I'm going to have a little bit more of that. But it was just one of those hungry days. I was so hungry. So another hour or so passed and I'm like, I just could not get this nut bar thing out of my head. So I took myself off to the shops and I bought one. But that being said, again, it was Sunday. I could because I had the time, I had the luxury, I was able to do that, and I really enjoyed it. And I thought to myself, I thought, mental note, I got to share this with you girls because I could do it because it was Sunday, so that was fine, and it worked out fabulous, right? I was really satisfied and I loved it. But if that was like a normal weekday, like right here today, I would just be like, well, deal with it. Like, you're just going to have to find something else. Why don't you get some nuts and seeds and things out of the pantry, because I always have mass quantities of those, drizzle some honey on it with some coconut or whatever, and maybe some coconut yogurt. Next best thing. That would also be beautiful. Right now I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, what a yummy breakfast. I might have to have that when we wrap it up. So there's always ways and means around it, but that's what I'm talking about. So after all that rambling, I'm wondering, does that help? Stephanie, let me know. Does that help? It's about just tapping in and going, what's available to me? What would feel good? What would make me feel good while I eat it? You know, what was going to taste amazing and what's going to make me feel good after I finish eating it? Because then I could go, well, what do I want? I don't know, like Macca's, right? I don't know. I haven't eaten that in years. But I would go yes to like hot chips. Oh, yeah, I would go yes to hot chips. And then I would just follow it up with a follow-up question. I'd be like, am I going to feel good about myself? Is my body going to feel good after those hot chips are eaten? And then I would be going, well, no. So that choice is like scrapped off the radar. But sometimes you eat those things. Like somebody brought it over the other week. We had a nice meal and I ate it with conscious intention, and I really enjoyed it. It was so great. So yeah, Elizabeth, I appreciate the reminder. I bought a journal for affirmations, but need to actually use it. Oh my God, girl, we need to talk. See, again, can I tell you where you've gone? Okay, I bought a journal, but haven't used it. That again, that procrastination, it's not because we go, oh, I'm lazy or I haven't, no, it's none of those reasons. You've held yourself back subconsciously. No, subconsciously, you've held yourself back. So now you bought the journal, but again, there's an underlying fear there that's going, okay, we'll bring the journal into the house, but don't use it. You haven't used it yet. You haven't used it yet. So whip the thing out and start asking yourself, how is it serving me to hold myself back like this? What is it that I feel I am avoiding? And you might go failure, whatever, success. Right? Start to journal it out and use the journal, girl. Use the journal. Yeah, Kim says, my body needs to sleep or my lips will be off the planet. Right, see? And you're aware of that, Kim. So that's like a self-love thing. You're coming at it. For those of us that are really super healthy and then these things are not an issue, we push it. We do, because we forget how lucky we are. And it's these sorts of reminders that are so useful. Stephanie, it was you. Yes, it was you. Okay, awesome. I really hope that helped a little. Yeah, by the way, I love your hair today, Kylie. So beautiful. Do you know what, Rachel? That's so funny. Thank you, because literally, I took it out of the old stretchy band. I took it out. It was just like, I whipped it out, and this is how it fell down. And I'm like, awesome. Yeah, seriously, you can't complain. I thought, this is a good day. It's a good hair day. Thank you. Yes, Stephanie. Yes, thank you. I think I need to experiment a bit. Maybe a bit maybe very basic foods, dairy, to remind me what feels good afterwards. I think this might be resistance somewhere. Maybe a very basic food, dairy, to remind me what feels good afterwards. Do you have I'm not getting it. Do you like dairy, or you don't like dairy? You like dairy or you don't like dairy? Elizabeth says you're 100% correct. Okay, going to start as soon as this is over. Thank you. Thank you. Your hair is 100 out of 100. Ha! Thank you. That's so very kind. Thank you. Girls, you're so funny. Yeah, Stephanie, tell me what you mean. And while you do dairy, like journal. You bought dairy, but you're avoiding eating it? Like the journal? You bought dairy, but you're avoiding eating it? To see what feels... yeah, in any case... Eat the dairy, eat whatever you want, eat what feels good to you, and suss it out how you feel afterwards, what's going to work for you, what's going to feel good. But bring whatever you want into the house. At least you've got a wide variety. It's no good to go, oh, I've got nothing in the house and I've got to decide on the spur of the moment. Like, it's about, you know, we've got to live within our means. Dairy, it's cracking me up. Oh my God, dairy. I'm still going on about dairy. Can I show you something? This is why I couldn't see. You're going dairy. You're going diary, and I'm going dairy. You can see it's like real. It's real. Okay, girls, that's so funny. I have fumbled my way through live streams so far, and this is the first time I've actually stuffed it up. But at least we can have a laugh, right? Diary, like journal. I'm going, oh my God. See, now I can actually see what's going on. Maybe a very basic food diary. Girls, send me some laugh emojis. Diary, not dairy. I'm so glad that I've got you all to point it out for me. Oh, well. Do you like my stylish glasses? They're very cool, but I don't wear them. Girls, somebody else had a question, and it was ruler, and I just want to, I have to find it now. Oh, boy. Okay, I'm just going to try and find Ruler's question. Because I think the gist of her question was that, I can't stop laughing about the diary. I think it was that she's home from her holidays now, and here we go. Yeah, she's home from her holidays, had an awesome time, lost weight, and now wants to keep the momentum going. I think that's the gist of it. You don't want the stresses and the issues that arise in the normal world to set me back. Okay, here's my mega word of advice around that for Ruler, for, you know, watching the replay, and for everybody. How do you stop the stresses and the dramas of life from keeping, you know, a good momentum going? Okay, you cannot manage the stresses and the drama of life, but you can manage your priorities. Okay, there's a second tweetable for the day. You cannot manage the dramas and the stresses of life, but you can manage your priorities. So basically this is about you deciding what is most important to you in any given moment. Because you'll wake up in the morning and go, oh, most important to me is following the codes or whatever. And then the stress of the drama kicks in. That is when it is essential for you to tune back in every moment. Just pull yourself out of the drama for a second and go, what's most important to me here? What? Stepping forward and moving forward with integrity and in alignment with who I know I want to be and the goals I want to achieve, or getting stressed and freaked out and caught up in all this drama and then eating chocolate to, you know, regain some composure. That is all you can do. Not eating chocolate. all you can do is manage your priorities. Everything else is going to come at you. Just is. That's life. You have to decide in any given moment what is my number one priority in this moment. And it might be, you might have a day, you might have a moment where my number one priority right now is survival. This has been the absolute day from hell and give me the damn chocolate. That might be, I want you to really get here. Whatever you decide is okay. If you get nothing else out of today's live stream, please know whatever decision you make is okay. Why do I say that? It's all right. Every decision you make is right. Every decision you make is all right. It's all right, right? It's all right. And it's all right. As in there is no wrong. You can't mess this up. Why do I say that? Because clarity comes from contrast. Clarity comes from contrast. Please write this down. Clarity comes from contrast. You've heard me say before, you can't know what you want until you know what you don't want. Every time you do a chocolate thing or a this or a that, right? Or even here, sort of Elizabeth is going, I'm not feeling good about this, or I'm scared to move forward. Now you've got contrast. You're not feeling real good in the zone and the vibe that you're in. You're like, this is not working for me. So when you know what you don't want, now you can get very crystal clear on what you do want. You open up the ability to expand your world when you have contrast. Without contrast, there's nothing. You're just nothing. You're just like floating along like on a cloud of I don't even know what, right? It's nothing is going on. Contrast is what allows you to move forward in life, to expand, to grow and become more. We need the contrast. So I say this because every decision you make is right and every decision you make is all right. It's going to give you either progress or contrast to make more progress. So you cannot lose here. You cannot stuff this up. So ruler, where she's saying here, how do I maintain the momentum? You simply decide that you cannot manage all the fluff around you. We can't. That's completely out of our control. I know we try and micromanage everything, but give it up. You can't manage the things external like that, but you can manage in any given moment your priorities, what is most important to you, moving forward with intention, integrity, and in alignment with the person that you have made a firm decision to be. So that being said, that would include things like Elizabeth journaling, using the journal that you bought. It would include things like Stephanie, I'm going to buy a whole selection of food and I'm going to stop for 2 seconds every time I feel hungry, think about what I have available to me, what is in alignment for me to eat, what's going to feel really good, what would be a choice that I can make with integrity, knowing that this is who I want to be, this is going to feed my body, it's going to love me, it's going to take me further along my journey. So this was the best. Diary, not dairy. I still can't. Oh my God, wait till I tell people about that one. I'll be like, and there I was, standing up in front of the screen thinking I had it all together and I'm all, fabulous and asking the questions and they were writing. And I'm going on about dairy. Girls, I want to thank you so much. It's been so much fun hanging out with you. I'm so blessed to have such an awesome crowd of girls to spend time with. So thank you so much. Your diary and the dairy. Okay, so please do, if you've got any other questions or things that you want to know, you can post them on this thread. I bought new chairs to sit at my table so I could eat there and not in front of the TV. Mwah, bellissimo. Rachel, that's just too delicious for words. There's some serious dedication there. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. All right, so we'll wrap it up for today. We'll do a second live. We'll do our actual end of week wrap up. Now, if for those of you, I'll just mention, because otherwise you're probably thinking, what is this that's going on? There is mention in your week for masterclass, which is, open to you now on the membership site. There's a mention of my follow-on program to the bootcamp, which is the Transformation Society. Now, we can talk about this later in the week. I just wanted to mention it to you because you'll hear it is talked about. It is definitely something that's available to you. If it's something you're interested in, let me know and we can talk more about it. It is essentially what we're doing here. The bootcamp gives you the groundwork and the foundation. You cannot move forward with anything without the codes. What the Transformation Society does is it takes that and builds on it. It is about getting into like what Rachel talks, what Elizabeth talks about here with this. Why am I holding myself back? Why am I self-sabotaging? Why am I procrastinating? Why am I resisting? Because like I said, the bootcamp is giving you the codes. The codes are everything. taking the codes and allowing them to work synchronistically in your life so that the resistance, self-sabotage, and the procrastination, you got to know your patterns. You got to know your patterns. And without that, they will just keep repeating and like, you know, a broken record, just playing over and over and over. So we can talk about it later in the wrap up, but I just want to give you the heads up that that is mentioned in this week's masterclass. And as I say, if it's something you want to talk about, we'll talk about it towards the close of the week. But just so you know what's going on, that is definitely an option for you. It is something that it's a 12-month program. So it's not a short little fly-by-night thing. It's a 12-month commitment with me by your side for 12 months, basically. For 12 months, we're in a private Facebook group. You get 12 elements over 12 months. So one a month. So it's not like the boot camp, which is fast and furious, right? 6 weeks, boom, right? It's one element a month of complete and total transformation, and then we are together. So I'm supporting you for an entire 12 months. But listen to, you'll find the information is in the masterclass. We can talk about it more later. So yeah, I want to thank you so much to everybody who was able to join you live today. This is so exciting. To everyone who's watching the replay, you know how I do, sending you luscious amounts of chocolate coated love. I look forward to seeing you towards the end of the week for our wrap up. I will post another link towards the end of the week with the details for the wrap up. Any questions that you have, post them either on this thread or on the upcoming thread, when that will come through about Thursday. Until then, have an awesome week. Dive right into these codes. Let me know any challenges, wins, and struggles that you're having. Post them here in the group so we can work through them. I'm sending you ridiculous amounts of love. I'm going to catch you all later. Bye for now.